Months. They sure are a thing. In the Gregorian calendar there's 12, but which ones are the best and which are the worst? Before I begin, note that I live in the southwestern United States, so anything weather related may not apply for you. Anyways, it's time for the 12 months of the year ranked from worst to best. September. I don't want to hear anything from y'all about this because it just is the worst month. The weather is pretty mediocre, though not the worst, however school-wise it is not fun in the slightest. I typically get quite a few projects in this month for seemingly no reason. There's few breaks and nothing ever happens. Also, this has to be consistently one of the worst months for Shlant. The amount of times little to nothing has happened regarding Shlant within this month is laughable. September is also one of only 4 months that has had the same name since its inception in the Roman calendar, and the Roman Empire is a boring time period, so screw this month. Now, what I'm gonna say will certainly end with me in a big cauldron of numerous vegetables and fruits mixed in as a Shlant stew, but the second worst month is December. I know this is an unpopular truth, but here's the short of it. Christmas is not a good holiday. Starting as a pagan holiday with Christian influence later on, it's turned into a corporatized, overstimulating, and overbearing holiday. I mean, come on, you can see Christmas decor being sold even before Halloween. Additionally, all I Want for Christmas for You is an annoying song, and the temperature during December is the only temperature worse than whatever the hell they have going on in Costco. I can't be the only one who thinks that place feels like Antarctica. On top of all that, we don't even get much snow in December here, which is the best part of winter, and I'm not a fan of vacations in the slightest, and December is known for being a vacation month. Speaking of a vacation month, if you were already maddened by the previous placement, then it's not going to get any better. July. As I was saying, July is the only month known specifically for vacationing more than December. July is the poster child for summer, and if I'm gonna be honest, summer sucks. Maybe that's just because I live in an oven, but the season itself is not good. Sure, summer break is great and all, but the heat is overpowering, and the vacations are even more prevalent than in December. In the original Roman calendar, July's name was absolutely butchered. Take a guess as to what it was called. Did you say Quintilis? If you did, then you're lying, and I can see you in your sleep. August's name was also butchered, but you'll have to wait till later to learn about August's crazy past name. Who's next on the chopping block? Ah, there you are. You know you couldn't hide forever. This is the first take that won't get me crucified like, I forgot his name, but it was something along the lines of Sus. Anyways, January, the first month of the year with only one notable holiday to its name, New Year's. Now I have to admit, I'm a decently big fan of New Year's. I can't pin down why, but it's just good. And man, are the Irish good at making New Year's songs. However, the rest of the month is boring. Unlike the previous entries, January is just bleh instead of but that doesn't make it good. Going back to school is not great, the weather is subpar, and it has nothing else to its name aside from New Year's. I'm not mad, just disappointed. February is basically just January too, let's be honest with ourselves. It's a little better because, at least here, it snows more than any other winter month, and by this point I'm more accommodated to school. There's one huge elephant in the room, or should I say, an oversized teddy bear holding a heart-shaped metal tin in the room that I'm overlooking. You either love it or you hate it, it's Valentine's Day. Firstly, who the hell named this holiday? I can't count the number of times I've had to look up where the punctuation goes. FYI, the apostrophe goes right before the S in Valentine's. Personally, I feel ambivalent on the issue. I'm not salty over it, but it's very corporatized and pretty forgettable. Yeah. Now I know this may offend all of you Halloween fans, however October is coming in at 7th place. Listen, I know that Halloween can be fun and all, spookifying a profile picture is nice, and everyone likes destroying their body with candies that don't even really taste that good, but aside from Halloween, October doesn't have much going for it. Disregarding Halloween, there's not many other holidays and nothing happens. The weather is better than September and it's less overall god-awful compared to it, but it brings nothing to the table. Also, hot take, but pumpkin flavor is insanely overrated. Hey, come on, be honest with yourselves, it just tastes like sugar but more artificial somehow. Calm down guys, I never said that October is a bad month, it's overrated sure, but it's still decent. You know, when I really think about it, if we were to imagine August, September, and October as the only months, then August and October are basically the same while being quite different from September. What the hell do I mean by that? Well, how about you wait for a second for me to tell you? Yeesh. Anyways, August is very similar to October in my mind. The weather is better than in September, and they both have more interesting occasions than September. While I've already covered October's Halloween, August has the end of summer break, which is better than Halloween. Unless you count Walmart back-to-school displays as a festivity, there are no festivities in August unlike October. However, everyone likes having a break off. Aside from that, however, there's nothing else to say about August, which is why it sits firmly in the middle of my rankings. From this point onwards, the months mentioned are not just awful, not just mediocre, not just average, but good, purebred American months. How can a month be American? You know, the guy who used to work in my job would have taken out a gun and shot you or disintegrated you or something, but I think I'll answer that. Our story begins in Persia, circa 16,000 BCE. November. Would you believe that in the first rendition of the script, November was placed at first? Yeah, I do believe that. I don't see any reason not to. November is a very cozy month. For me personally, I don't have much work to do during this month, and alongside that, there's quite a few random breaks, alongside the coveted Thanksgiving break. The weather is in a good sweet spot between fall and winter, and it's also the month of many elections, and as a wise man once said,
November is cool because I have elections. I love elections. Yeah.
I think that wise man's name was a random blob fart? Anyways, November is overall enjoyable. At times, the cold may get a bit much, and the days start to get noticeably shorter, however those factors are not enough to bring down its ranking. For the last 4, I won't be a bore. I won't ramble so long that you'll start to snore. I will not be gross. I will not show gore. The Gucci Wolf album is now inside stores. Yeah, it's May. Now, May is a good month. A great month, even. If this were a Mr. Incredible Becoming Canny meme, it would place right here. Try not to insert outdated references into the script. It will date badly, and it wasn't funny in the first place. Oh yeah, sorry. I was comatose for 5 months a few years back, so I'm always somewhat behind. May is a good month for quite a few reasons. Most obviously, it's when school starts winding down, and for me it ends in May. The weather, while hot, is not as scorching as June or July gets over here. Generally, going places during May feels relaxing. Now there's of course exams and final projects, which are generally not considered the top 5 most fun things ever. That list is already completely booked by 5 variations on the act of eating whipped cream straight from the can. However, aside from that holdup, May gets its rightful spot high on the list. Now we enter the top 3. Out of all the 1,200 months... Sorry, out of all the 12 months, only a quarter have gotten this far, and thus will all be receiving the coveted Shlant seal of approval. Coming in at 3rd place is... June. I feel that June is a very obvious pick for the top of the list. For me, it's the first full month of summer break, which is a gigantic plus. Unlike July, there are not as many vacations, and it is not as exasperatingly hot as that hellish month, though it is still quite hot. On top of that, June contains some of the most important dates in Shlant history. From the 25th to the 28th, 5 parts of totally original content were released, truly a spectacle to behold. So yeah, June is pretty cool, I'd say. If you've been keeping track, you already know which months are left, and revealing 2nd place will reveal 1st place prematurely, so without further ado, let me introduce you to the best month of the whole year, March! Oh yeah, and April wins 2nd place. March is not only the best month in my view, but far above the rest. If every other month is my normal videos, then March is Gucci Wolf. Alright, I really need to stop joking about that stupid song. Firstly, March is some of the best weather, at least here. It's neither too hot nor too cold, although there is a lot of wind. March also has spring break, which is amazing. Nothing ever happens during spring break, not many vacations are had, and that's why it's perfect. Whereas during summer, winter, and Thanksgiving break, there are a lot of vacationers, there's not nearly as many during spring break, which is the perfect environment for Shlant superiority. Speaking about Shlant, March also has a 5th day, surprising I know, and on that 5th day of March in the 2017th year of our Lord, Shlant was birthed. To be completely honest, the creation of Shlant is more important than my own birth, elevating March to another level. Also, it's probably the month with the singular most activity from me YouTube-wise. Well, that's it for March. I think it's time to wrap it up. Oh shoot, I almost forgot about April. Alright, April is a good month because there's a decent amount of random off days, the weather is even better than March, and it's decently laid back, but it doesn't have spring break, and it's not the Shlant version of a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so it comes in at 2nd. Phew, alright, that's everything. I hope you enjoyed this crazy cool ranking. Bye bye, Wolfram Pack Amigo. Man, was that something. I know that this video could permanently degrade my reputation everywhere I go and even hold me back from employment with how spicy these takes are, but someone needed to say it. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Tune in next time for, something, I'm not sure yet. Bye bye, Wolfram Pack Amigo thingies.